Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to be making a fun dinosaur scene card using some new products from Pretty Pink Posh. And this particular stencil is the Dino Dig stencil. It is a one-layer stencil and it will create a fun background scene for my dinosaur card. So I'm starting out with a piece of Bristol smooth cardstock that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm inking it up with some Distress Oxide ink. So I have chipped Sapphire there at the top. That is my dark blue. And then I'm going to come in with my Wilted Violet, which is the purple. And after I lay down the Wilted Violet, I come back in with the chipped Sapphire and just get a better blend between those two colors. And then I'm going to finish it up with the picked Raspberry, and that is the pink. And I'm just putting a piece of tape there on top of that background just so that I can hold that in place without getting ink on my fingers. I'm coming back in with the Wilted Violet just to blend that purple and pink together. I'll get a little bit better blend. And then I'm going to use this stencil. Again, it's the Dino Dig stencil from Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to hold it down with my magnets and I'm going to bring in some light and fluffy modeling paste. I'm going to mix it up a little bit and then just spread some there on my Make Art station. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a yellow ink to it. This is an ink refill. Just going to add a little bit of ink and then I'm going to mix that up really good because I wanted to have a yellow paste. And this paste is going to be used for the stars on this stencil. So I knew I wanted to have that really pretty colorful background, but I also wanted to have these stars yellow. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to get a really bright yellow if I just added some yellow ink over top of the purple and blue ink that I already laid down. So I knew by adding the modeling paste, it will give me a nice texture and it will also give me a nice thick, this will actually be a little bit raised when I bring this stencil up. So a nice thick texture for these stars in a nice bright yellow. So I'm just adding some more of that modeling paste with my craft knife and I'm just smoothing it down really well, and then I'm going to clean off my craft knife and I'm going to lay some more of the modeling paste, and this time I'm coming in with a brown ink refill and I'm just going to mix that up really well. So this modeling paste is going to be brown and I'm going to use this for all of the rocks there on my stencil. So again, I thought that if I came in with just some brown inks, it wouldn't be vibrant enough for those rocks to just put the brown ink over top of the purple and pink color that I already laid down. So I thought by adding the modeling paste, it would have a really nice color brown added to the top of my card layer. In addition, it would add a nice texture to it as well. And that's what I was going for because I wanted these to look like rocks. So that's the look I was going for. So just smoothing it out. I'm making sure that it's not too smooth. I still wanted to have a little bit of texture there. So I'm just kind of tapping that craft knife over top of it just to give a little bit of texture. And then once I have it all covered, I'll go ahead and remove that stencil. Now make sure that if you are using the modeling paste that you clean your stencil off right away. I did just clean it in some hot water with some soap and it came right off. And I did let this dry overnight just to make sure it was completely dry, but you can see the texture that that gives. So here is a look at the stamp sets that I'm using. I'm using the Dinosaur Editions and the Dinosaur Friends stamp sets. I went ahead and stamped out some of the stamps from each one of those stamp sets, and I'm coloring them up with my Zig Clean Color Rail Brush markers. I did stamp this onto some Bristol Smooth cardstock using some Versafine Onyx Black ink. And all of the colors that I'm using for these markers I will have listed down in the description box of this YouTube video. I'll also have all of the supplies with links listed down there as well. So if you're interested in duplicating any of these cards, check down in the description box for a link to those supplies. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to music. So if you want to watch the coloring, please do so. If you want to skip forward to me finishing the rest of the card, you can skip forward to timestamp 6 minutes and 22 seconds. So I went ahead and die cut all of those pieces out, and I've already arranged them where I want them on my card front. So now I'm just adding some glue to the stamps and I'm adhering them to my card. I am using an acrylic block just to hold some of those stamps in place, because remember, this card does have some texture to it. It's not completely flat, but after I use the acrylic block to hold those images in place, they do stick firmly to that card front. So I'm adding some of the palm trees on the rocks. I decide to put the volcano in the middle of the card, and then I space out those dinosaurs to be positioned at the bottom, also one on top of the rocks, and then I have the one flying in the air. I really love the colors on this card front. I just think they are so vibrant and fun, and I am just loving this card design. I am going to add an heat embossed sentiment, so I'm going to use my powder tool up in the top left hand corner where my sentiment is going to go. Then I line up my sentiment in my Misti, and then I go ahead and stamp that down with some Versamark ink. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some white embossing powder, and then I'll go ahead and heat set that embossing powder onto that card front. I will add that card layer to an A2 size white card base that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that's going to complete my card. I love how this card turned out. So once again, all products will be linked down in the description box below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.